Dear 5th grade students, hi! Today we will learn together a very easy lesson. We will learn how to talk about things we do every day. We will learn about the present simple. Let's start together. When do we use the present simple? We use the present simple when we want to talk about our habits. Things that we usually do, things that we love to do every day. For example, I go to school every day at 8 o'clock. I take my breakfast before I go to school. These are habits. These are things we do again and again, nearly every day. Facts. When we talk about things that are always true or in general true, we use the present simple. For example, lions eat meat. What do lions eat? Lions eat meat. Water boils at 100 degrees. Excellent. These are facts, like the facts that you learn in your science book. Thoughts and feelings. When you want to express your feelings, how you feel, you should use the present simple. For example, I feel happy today. I love my English teacher. Do you love your English teacher? So you can say, I love my English teacher. I prefer English to math. Excellent. These are feelings. These are things that we feel inside. So when we want to talk about them, simply you use the present simple that we will learn now. Also, when you want to talk about general statements and actions that are repeated, things that happen every day. For example, we have school every day. We go to the library every Saturday. So these are things that happen always. Excellent. Now let's learn the present simple form. How do we speak and write the present simple? Let's look at the form. If the subject is singular, like he, she, or it, simply we add s to the main verb. For example, she likes, he works, it runs. What about plural subject? And what about I? If I have I, you, they, we add nothing to the verb. We keep the verb in its base form. So, they play. I love. We do. And you clean. We don't add s to the main verb. So, the form of the present simple is either adding s to the verb if we have he, she, it, Umar, Amy, Rania, or we don't add anything to the verb, we keep the verb in the base form if the subject is Umar and Rania, or plural, or if you are talking about yourself. I play football every day. I study English every evening. Excellent, students. Now we will learn some key words that when we see these words, we know that the verb is in the present simple. Or when we use them in our speaking, we know that we have to put the verb in the present simple. These words are always and every day, often. I always drink tea. When you are using a feeling verb like love, like, hate, mean, prefer, and dislike, always remember to put these verbs only in the present simple form. For example, I love math. I dislike apples. I prefer English to math. I hate spiders. Excellent. Now, of course, if you are talking about general things or about basic facts, always remember to put the verb in the present simple. Rabbits don't eat meat. Very good, students. Now, let's practice using the present simple. We will practice by talking about the water cycle, how it rains. As you know, this is a scientific fact. It's a fact that never changes. So let's learn using the present simple by talking about the water cycle. Let's start. 1. The water cycle tells us how we get rain. Let's look at the subject, the water cycle. Is it singular or plural? Yes, it's singular. It's cycle. So the water cycle tells us how we get rain. Excellent. Now let's look at the second example. First, the sun makes or make the water hot. Where is the subject? The subject is the sun. The sun, is it singular or plural? How many sun do we have? It's only one sun. So we say the sun makes the water hot. And now the last example. Then the water changes into vapor. As you can see, water is water singular or plural? Water is always singular. So we say the water changes into vapor. Excellent, students. So as you can see with singular subjects, we always use the verb plus S form of the present simple. Another example, the hot vapor rises into the air. The hot vapor rises into the air because the hot vapor is also singular. The fifth example, next, the vapor become a cloud. The vapor becomes a cloud. And the last example, in the end, it rains or rains. It rains, of course. It rains because the cloud is very heavy with water. Excellent. Now, sometimes we need to talk about things that sometimes we need to use the negative form of the things that we are talking about. Let's learn how we use the present simple in the negative form with not. It's very easy. If the subject is he, she, and it, remember to add doesn't before the base verb. So we say she doesn't like, he doesn't work, and it doesn't run. So we use doesn't with he, she, and it. What about I, you, we, and they? With I, you, they, and we, remember to use don't plus the base verb, the verb as itself. We don't add anything. So, they don't play. We don't do. I don't love. You don't clean. What things that you don't do in the morning? For example, I don't drink coffee in the morning. These are things that you don't do in the morning. Excellent, students. So that's how we put the present simple in the negative form, how we add not to the verb. We use doesn't plus the base verb with he, she, or it, And we use don't with the base verb with I, you, they, and we. Now, what about forming questions? Sometimes we need to ask questions. How do we ask questions in the present simple? Let's learn together. It's very easy. First of all, we need to use a WH word. For example, where, what, when. Then we use either does or do. Now you are asking yourself, when should I use does and when should I use do? It's very easy. Just look at the subject. The subject that comes after them. If it's singular like Omar, Rania, Amy, we put does. But if it's a plural subject like the children, the students, the teacher, we should use do. And don't forget to put the verb in its base form. We don't add anything to the verb. And the end of the question, we must add a question mark. Very good, students. Let's look at some examples. What does she eat? Where does he live? When does it start? Why do I feel tired? Who do we go with? How do they come? They come by bus. Which one do you take? Excellent. So it's very easy to form a question using the present simple. Simply you need to use WH word like what, where, when, how. It depends on your question, of course. Then you choose either does or do, depending on the subject. And after that, you put the verb in its base form. What do you do every day? Now, let's have more practice. How does rain happen? Have you ever asked yourself, how does rain happen? Of course, in the winter, we all ask ourselves, how does it rain? Or how does rain happen? Now we will learn about rain using the present simple. Let's start. How water become hot? Here we have a question and we need to form the question. So we say, how does water become hot? Let's look at another sentence or the answer. The sun makes the water hot. The sun makes the water hot. Another question. What hot water change into? The answer is, what does hot water change into? Hot water change into vapor and rise up. Hot water changes into vapor and rises up. Never forget to put the s after the second verb. Here, as you can see, we have two verbs, change and rise. If you put s to the first verb and then and, you need to put s to the second verb too. So, hot water changes and rises. Another question. How vapor change into clouds? The question becomes, how does vapor change into clouds? The answer, vapor rise in the sky and cool. Pay attention, we have two verbs here. Vapor rises in the sky and cools. Why it rain? The question becomes, why does it rain? The answer is, The clouds get heavy and rain falls down. Pay attention, because clouds are plural, we don't add s to the verb, while rain is uncountable, we don't count rain, so we add s to the verb, falls down. Dear 5th grade students, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you have learned how to talk about things that you usually do, things that always happen. And you have also learned how to talk about the scientific facts like rain and many things that you learn in science. Thank you for watching, and I really hope that you had a lot of fun. Thank you.